Now that the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest, there is something I would show you, Arten. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless efforts to the realm. It mentions, in particular, the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogglmog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Arten, and Eorzea is that much the safer for your presence. Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own, and that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict. Of Alize, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. And then there's Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Allag that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you from Ella. You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Arton, you may have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment, and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? After we parted in Wolda, I paid a visit to the refugees. Though a fundamental solution remains far off, I believe that at the very least there should be no more armed uprisings in the near future. I am given to understand that you resolved the matter of Ramu. I will ask Minfilia for a full report when next we speak. You have done well, Arton. The storm has passed, and a moment's quietude is ours. Tataru is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stir anew on the horizon. With the Doman younglings dashing around hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Ida, it's not as if I knew much peace to begin with. I told Flamine all about our adventures in the Sylphlands, fake Thancred and all. Or you won't tell the real Thancred, will you? I do not know where we would be without Higiri. The girl has worked tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Doman women are so diligent? Despite all the hardships they have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. We older ones would do well to follow their example. Ah, Arton, care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. Repetition and routine begets skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Domans regain their strength of will. $137, $138, $130. Oh, hello there. I've been charged with keeping inventory. Flamine tells me it's a vitally important. Oh dear, I seem to have lost count. Never is a woman more lovely than when she's hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall in the face of the frozen winds. If I were as big as a mountain and strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I would like fighting more. Are you taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. That game of hide and seek in Vesper Bay was the most fun I've had in forever. Yozan's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for Koharu when she's mad. it's Mr. Arton. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Arton? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltnet, did you know that Mr. Arton is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Arton. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltnet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Arton if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Arton? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hoary, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Arton? Would you consent to spar with me? Hurrah! We're to have a tournament! Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Coltnet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Since becoming a scion, I have had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds. I must confess, then, that my excitement rivals that of the children's at the prospect of seeing you in action firsthand. We had a master of lessons back in Doma, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way is better, but I think I like them both. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. Mr. Arton is here! Let the battle begin! As we left the Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. I hope we haven't made him cross. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Arton. I trust you are ready to begin? Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Arton you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray, allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Arton to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ida? What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there is still more to come. When I mentioned Arton's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Day and night I've honed my skills. Now comes the time to test them. Ugh, such power. The tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet, Hori. Oh no, he looks hurt. Mr. Arton is so strong. But you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Arrgh! I must admit defeat. It was an honor and a privilege. Never have I faced such strength, but the lesson must continue. 'Tis your example I follow. Surrender not to the implacable foe. You have bested me. I yield. That was incredible! He beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Arton. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Arton. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius in the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe Grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray, let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. I fear Ida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment, and your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters. I can't wait for Alphino to start his new company. I love making new friends. I I wish Ida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now. Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Mayhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own. No, this won't do at all, and then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Artin. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. It is not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you all succeed in your monumental tasks. This place has become as a hive, and its bees flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest. My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland, but thanks to your courage and generosity, I see their inner flames once more flicker back to life. I too have felt my strength of will make a gradual return. I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seems that sparring match well served its purpose. Why, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve upon my technique. Artin, I must thank you again for agreeing to our bout. And I must thank the gods 'twas not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my swordplay. Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Mr. Artin. Just you wait. One day I'll be good enough to knock you from the top of your mountain. We need to decide who in our Adventurers Guild will do what. I'm fairly sure Yozen will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of the action. Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten, but he said he'd return straight to his training. I don't think he likes to lose. I like the way Mr. Coltnet fought. No swords or fists. I wonder if I studied hard, would I be able to cast spells like that too? With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphino has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray, lend him what aid you can. Thank you for coming, Artin. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Pray, forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning grand company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the bringer of light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lominsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall.